everybody. Welcome to another story time with When Girls Talk Books. I'm Susie.
I'm Kylie. And today we're doing The Troop
By Nick Cutter. Everybody, buckle up.
Trigger warning.
Yeah.
Trigger warning. This is a horror. It's gross. There are some talks of animal abuse that is not pleasant. So, off the bat,
we were unprepared as well. Anytime someone takes the time to put a trigger warning page, I could kiss every one of those authors.
Yeah.
Thank you. I love you.
I don't love trigger warnings. I like to be surprised.
Oh,
I don't want it to be spoiled.
that's great. I love that for you.
I don't want it to be spoiled. I want to be surprised. And if I don't like it, I'll skip ahead.
How do you skip ahead when it's the whole book?
Okay. Yeah. I'm more trying to I read a lot of dark romance, so I don't want
I still have my baby bird feathers. I'm still taking flight.
I know.
Not saying I didn't like it. So anyway, trigger the hell warnings. Be careful.
Yeah.
Continue with caution. It's okay if you can't do this one.
Yeah. I think this is a classic old school horror novel. This is not like a sugarcoat thriller / horror. This is a horror novel. If that's not what you're going for, this is not for you. Mm-hmm. If that is what you're going for, which we kind of were, we did want something that was like genuinely a horror novel, and that's what we found.
Yep.
So, we went into it, but I don't think we were fully prepared.
No.
Yeah.
I wasn't.
Yeah. What was your star rating?
4.
I would give this a 4.5.
It was really good. It was
good.
Yeah.
It was probably my favorite horror novel I've ever read.
Wow.
This was really good. It creeped you out. The description was enough to really, make you feel it, if that makes sense, without being we get it to the next point. Mm-hmm. So I did feel like there was some of that, which is probably why it's not a 5. And probably why it's a 4.5, because I feel like there was kind of these rabbit holes that they went down a lot of stuff that didn't really matter.
Yeah. Different
storylines about random things.
Yeah, I could see that.
From their hometown. I don't really care.
I'll save that. I'll add it later into when it makes more sense. But yes, I agree with you.
Yeah. But it was really good. If anybody's looking for a horror, this is it.
Yeah.
Read this.
Yep.
I've had this on my shelf for quite a bit. And so I was happy we were going to do it. And I'm happy I read it.
Same.
It was
really good. I had never read any of his books.
Me neither.
So this was a great introduction, I guess.
I don't remember where I got this from. Forever ago. Anywho. Okay. Get into it?
Let's go.
We just start by saying, what the fuck?
Yeah, but literally though, can we just start with it all starts and then it all goes to hell in a handbasket so fast.
It's all so gross. Okay, so we start off with a news report, I guess you could say, or a news article about this woman at the diner, and she's working, and this guy comes in and he eats a plethora of food and is just very clearly starving, and then her truck is missing when she gets off work, so she thinks that he stole the truck. She also says something along the lines of she felt like she heard something moving around inside of him. Which is gross.
Mm-hmm. You, David!
Yeah, I could hear something coming from inside of him. I'm saying under his skin. I know that sounds silly.
Can you imagine you trying to tell your coworker, okay, hear me out?
Yeah, they'd listen. They'd be like, no way! So that's where we start. Is a truck is stolen. She felt like she heard something inside of him. This is also a news article on a conspiracy theory site. Mm-hmm. So take that with what you will, but catch me on that site. Anyway,
literally so me.
I think one of the coolest things about this book was you got the perspective of the people that were gross. So the next chapter is the guy who stole her car that was really hungry. We get his point of view.
Typhoid Tom, as they were calling him.
Which is, like, it's so good, but it's so, like, it makes you feel gross. Because you're in his point of view. But, so he did steal the truck. He then stole a boat. And he talks about how he's so hungry. He's so hungry. He should have pulled over and eaten that roadkill. And he's so hungry, so hungry. And then he goes to, he finds a boat. And then he goes to this island where he then eats sea moss and the crab that's walking on the beach. And he shoves that in his mouth. And it's so squishy and delicious.
Eating anything and everything within sight.
Yeah. And he's just like, eat. Eat.
And he keeps hearing this voice in his mind telling him, eat.
Yeah. Also, within the chapters, at the end of almost every chapter, we get like either an interview or like
an excerpt from court.
Yeah, or an article about something that all kind of connect back to the storyline. And the first bit that we get is about the island that the man ends up driving the boat to, and it's vacant. There's nobody really there. There's one building that is technically like an emergency shelter for like the people who go there to study and like education wise, essentially.
Oh, okay.
But there's nobody who lives on this island full time.
It's uninhabited. Okay.
Yeah. Now, who is at this island? Who better to be at the island than the Boy Scouts?
A group of Eagle Scouts. But yes, literally, Boy Scouts are out there, and it's like, oh, no.
So, let's get into our characters here.
We got Tim Riggs.
Who is the Scoutmaster.
And he's also, like, the doctor of this small town.
Yep.
And then you've got the Eagle Scouts. You've got...
Are they actually Eagle Scouts?
Apparently.
That's funny. Anyway,
Which is
sorry,
hysterical.
go ahead.
I'm like, I also don't know the difference. Is that just, like, they're older and... they've done more?
I have no idea. You're asking the wrong gal.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know why I acted as if you're like, well, I was captain of the Girl Scouts.
Let me tell
ya. So
they're beaver. Wait.
Even worse.
The 5 of them together through beaver. They're ventures.
Oh. They're Boy Scouts. I like the way it rolls off the tongue. Okay.
I kept thinking of them as Boy Scouts, so.
You've got Kent.
Yep.
He's the douche of the group, but he's the poor kids, there's reasons, okay?
Okay, Kent is the jock
That's
of the
another
group.
way to put it. Ephraim. I really liked him.
Yeah. He's kind of like the troubled kid. Like, his dad went to jail. His mom is raising him. He has, like, these anger issues that he's aware of and tries to kind of keep them under wraps, but he's just a little damaged boy.
And then you've got Max.
Okay, so there's Max. Max and Ephraim are best friends.
Yeah.
So Max's mom babysat Ephraim, and so they kind of always had each other. So they were best friends. Max is just kind of regular guy. His dad does the funeral home.
Oh, yeah. He's the mortician.
Yeah. So there's Kent, Max, Ephraim, Newt, who is kind of the chubbier kid. He's very smart. They kind of make fun of him. And then we have Shelley.
I forgot about Shelley. I didn't write Shelley's name down. Not that I forgot the character, but...
Shelley's a psychopath. I'll tell you that.
Beyond psychopath.
Oh
this
my
is
gosh.
Sociopath. Because I know that psychopaths can have feelings. This kid... No,
He's
this
crazy.
is sociopath. This is like what nightmares are made of. I don't know what was worse. What happened in the book or Shelley?
I think Shelley was the worst part about it. So Shelley, like, you don't obviously find out right away that he's crazy.
But we had a feeling. I know at the beginning of the book, I'm like...
I kept forgetting about him.
I
was like, okay, I know that there's the 4 boys. Who's the 5th one? Like, that's who I kept... Because I know there's 5 boys. Who's the 5th one? And I kept forgetting. And I was like... Same with, like, Max. I feel like Max and Shelley, like, weren't really talked about a lot in the beginning. And then...
At the end.
They get definitely more and more character development.
That makes sense.
So we have our 5 boys and the Scoutmaster Tim. And they are on the island for, like, their yearly expedition, I guess you could say.
And the boys are gonna get to try to, like, you know, like, challenge their skills and do
get new badges. And,
Yep.
Yeah. So, along comes, it's nighttime, or evening, I guess you could say. The boys are all in their room, and here comes this man, and he pulls up, and the scoutmaster can't really turn him away because he would feel guilty about it. He can clearly see this man is sick. The man at some point grabs clumps of dirt and shoves them in his mouth, which...
I know
back to our other book.
The whole point of the book is that he didn't turn him away, but at the beginning of this book, there is an instant where Tim is minding his damn business outside at night, and he had a fucking choice. Like, he had a choice. When this thing is so far away, and he doesn't know he's a man yet, and it's like when you hear the stories of people talking about seeing cryptids for the first time, you're like, you had an opportunity to turn around and not be a part of it, and
but he's
here you
clearly
go.
a man. I kind of get what you're saying.
Yeah, like, I get it. The book wouldn't be any good if that's the whole point of the story.
Yeah.
But it's like, this is why, if you see something weird, you don't have to investigate further.
But, like, you're on a secluded island. He's gonna come and knock at the door. At this point, he's coherent enough where, like, he thinks that he needs help.
So much kinder than I.
He's a doctor.
I get it.
No
That's
offense.
why I could never be a doctor, because I would just turn the light off and pretend I'm not there.
And he's the town's only doctor. Which also, hope nobody's sick that week.
Yeah,
but, okay.
And hope you're not going to have a baby or anything, or hope, I don't know, hope the doctor nothing happens to him. I don't know.
Yeah. Anyway, so the boat comes, the guy comes up, and he's just like, can I please stay one night? Can I just stay one night? And, do you have anything to eat? I'm starving. And then that's when he, like, shoves the dirt in his mouth.
He's
and
like,
the guy's like, whoa, woo! You don't gotta do that, buddy. And they end up...
Like, I know the dirt has vitamins and minerals, but, like, you don't have to listen to everything Bear Girl says.
It's all right, buddy. So he does let him stay for the night. And he tells the boys, there's a man here. He's very sick. I'm going to see if I can try and help him. He's staying for the night. You boys stay in here.
And I'll be fine.
The way that they describe, the description of him...
Knocked it out of the park. You felt like you were there.
Foul. He beheld a creature stepped fully formed from his blackest childhood nightmares, a rotted monster who had dragged himself from the sea. He wasn't much more than skeleton lashed by ropes of waterlogged muscle, its flesh falling off its bone in gray-laced edge rags. It lumbered forward, mumbling dully to itself. It's so gross. It's so gross. The descriptions in this book, like, really made you be like, I feel icky. Mm-hmm. Like, I think that's how I felt the majority of this book. So they have a radio. So when they got to the island, a boat dropped them off and was going to come at the end of the weekend to pick them up. He tells the boys not to bring phones, don't bring anything where you can contact.
This is an unplugged weekend.
Yeah. They have one radio that he got ready because there was a storm that was going to come through, and he knew that, so in case they needed help or anything, he did bring the radio. Now, doctor is like, this man is more sick than I know what to do with, so I'm going to call the mainland and get help. And as soon as he gets the radio working and is ready to call, the man, like, charges and breaks the radio and stomps on it and throws it on the floor and just, like,
I'll call it a psychotic break, because I don't know how to, like, describe it in the way of, like, this guy went apeshit.
Yeah. And then they kind of have, like, a little bit of a tussle, and he ends up, like, throwing up on Tim's face.
I was freaking out.
And he takes it, and he's just like, oh, like, he thought it was, like, sea moss or
whatever he had been ingesting.
Yeah, because the man did get off the boat and, like, take seaweed and throw it in his mouth because he's just eating everything. He ends up giving him, like, what's the word I'm looking for?
Sedative?
Yeah, a sedative. And ties him up. Right?
Yep.
Yeah, he ties him up.
And has him basically laying on, like, in the living room.
Yeah. But, and then he goes to sleep, and at some point, somebody got up and was rummaging through the cupboards, eating food. Mm-hmm. So at 10 a.m. the next morning, the island is officially secluded and under
investigation
quarantine.
By, like, the military.
Yeah, so it's strictly prohibited for anybody to come in and out of that area. All watercrafts are not allowed to go over there.
Mind you, the people on the island have no idea.
Yeah, they don't know.
No, blissfully unaware.
So, the next day, Tim goes down to the dock where the boat is and tries to start up the boat, and the spark plugs are gone. So, the boat doesn't work. He can't get back to the island. Now the radio's broken.
Panic! I would start to panic.
I would too, yeah. But if you think about from their point of view, like, somebody's coming in a few days.
Yep.
They don't know that nobody's allowed to go there anymore. So again, the people just don't know.
It's Friday morning and you and me are looking at each other like, don't worry.
It's fine.
Your dad's coming with the boat, right? Yeah, he said he'd be here. Okay, we'll be fine. Let's just play it cool.
Your dad would be the boys' dad who tried to
literally
get over there.
So much.
We be getting off that island, I'll tell you that. Oh, Steve coming to get us.
He's gonna find a way.
Him and Justin in the scuba gear. Anyway, sorry. So the spark plugs are gone. He ends up telling the boys that they're still gonna do their wilderness trek.
Their solo hike.
As they're supposed to. Their solo hike as a group.
Yeah.
Okay. So, he's still gonna send them to do that while he takes care of the man. Now, a little bit of a situation. The spot where the man threw up on his face is burning, and he's, like, his skin is twitching. But we're just ignoring it.
But yeah, it's fine. It'll be fine, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Fine.
We start finding out about, like, a patient 0 for this.
Random entry of police file, patient 0. What the hell?
Basically, basically, and there's some sort of runaway biological weapon. And what is it being used for? So, we get that little tidbit. What?
So scary. Like, just thinking about it, like, can you imagine just going about your life and you're like, okay, cool.
You know, I think, well, I don't trust anybody, so I'm like, well, yeah, duh. They have, like, crazy, weird, like, things they could release, you know. Anyway, so then, and we also start to hear about certain doctors who have been messing around, per se, with disease and things like that they can use for weapons.
They decided, let's bioengineer it.
Yeah.
Because that's not scary. Like, isn't there a whole franchise about why you shouldn't bioengineer science?
I just watched Jurassic World.
Yeah, like, hello, we all know it doesn't end well.
But we gotta keep trying. Anyway, so, while the boys are on their trek, we learn a lot about the boys' dynamic, which we kind of already kind of talked about. Kent is definitely a bully. He thinks that he deserves to be in charge.
His dad is the sheriff.
His dad is the sheriff. I did end up feeling really bad for Kent.
Very much.
Because I think he's very much just a product of his environment and how hard his dad had been on him of, like, you're not a failure and you're tougher than that. And
yeah.
I mean, these are 14-year-old, 15-year-old boys, and he had a chip on his shoulder that was essentially put there to me.
It's true, yeah.
So they're on their walk, and at some point they see helicopters flying, and then there's also like a arsenal of ships in the distance. And they're like, well, sometimes they do military maneuvers out here. Like, it's not the craziest thing to see ships.
Right.
And he's like, but I mean, that's a lot of ships out there.
And they're just sitting there.
They're not moving. They're clearly anchored. But, okay. And also at one point, the walkie-talkie goes off. And you hear what's his name? Tim? Mm-hmm. Yeah, the Scoutmaster guy say, like, Jesus Christ, what is that? And they're all like, are you good? Like, what's going on here? And he's like, oh, yeah, I'm good.
Everything's fine.
It's fine, boys. So then we kind of get into Shelley. Shelley he has this crayfish, and he is very fixated with, like, taking parts off of animals and squishing their eyes, and he just thinks...
You know how in every red flag stuff, when they talk about serial killers in the beginning,
he's got all
how
of them.
they started? Yeah, every warning sign is there.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's when he ends up, he bursts the crayfish's eyeballs. He talks about his mouth, like, collecting saliva. At some point, he gets, like, very turned on by these actions that he's doing. He's just, like, classic
Something's wrong
serial
with you.
killer.
Yeah.
Yeah. We also...
I forgot about the crayfish. I was so upset about the other ones that I completely forgot about.
Well, that's, like, your first bit of it, of, like...
Something ain't right here. You're not okay.
Not all your things are firing. And then we find out about Kent. So Kent has created an online persona because he is pretty heavily bullied. And even, like, by his friends, but the way that it's described is they're not actually trying to be mean to him, but they definitely are. And I think they just don't realize how hard they actually are on him because they do care about him. So that's really sad. But, so we kind of find out a little bit of backstory about them. That's when we find about Ephraim's dad, who went to jail, and that him and Max are really close. And we find out about Kent's dad.
It was so cute.
Yeah. But it's all, like, very complicated. Like, it's all a very complicated relationship group because they kind of, like, they are friends, but they're not friends. Not so much like Shelley. Like, he's just kind of off to the side.
The
but,
whole
like,
group is united in, like, keep an eye on that one.
Yeah. But, like, Ephraim and Kent definitely have their problems because they both want to be the leader. So, like, they're not very nice to each other. They're not very nice to Newt. And then Max is just kind of a regular dude, is what I would say. So anyway, so on this hike, you find out a lot about, like, the dynamics of the group, per se. So, like, when they left, Tim had handed the walkie-talkie to Max, and at some point, Kent was like, I should have that, and you know I should have it, so he ended up taking the walkie-talkie, which Max is like, dude, I don't care.
Like, okay.
So, they get back to the cabin, and Tim is sitting outside.
Good.
Huh?
Not looking so good.
He's not looking great, and he also is, like, saying, don't go inside. There's warm coats. We have a fire. You'll be fine. The man is very sick in a way I've never seen before, and I definitely can't diagnose it.
Ruh-roh.
So, yeah. They end up kind of, like, having a conversation of, like, is there anything you can do for him? Like, what can we do? And because Max's dad does taxidermy also, he decides that Max should help him operate and see what's going on inside of this man.
Think, Tim. Think, Tim. Come on, Tim!
Well, to him, a surgeon never performs alone. So he has to have somebody with him.
And I get it. And these kids are acting very mature for their age, but bro, these are kids.
But it's so hard because you're in such a survival situation. I don't think they should have done it to begin with.
If someone wrote a book about me in a survival situation, they'd think I am the biggest wuss that ever existed, man. I would be so boring and not interesting because I just, no way.
Me? I'm out in the woods by myself.
Yeah.
I'm actually in the trees because you're not getting me.
And I know that there's just no way I would look at someone else's teenager and be like, I'm going to have you do this adult thing with me because I think you can handle it. Come on. Like, no. Be like, boys, we're going to the northernest point of this island and we're sitting in a circle and we're waiting.
Yeah. Like, I also think, like, because I am very motherly type. That's just my personality. Like, oh, Tim, you're not looking great, so you can stay here with the crazy person. Me and these boys are going away from you.
Yep.
Yeah.
We survive.
Yeah. But if we're all around the same age and I'm also 14, peace out.
Yep.
Bye.
Bye.
Yeah.
So they do what we would never do.
They do kind of talk about at the end, or Max kind of talks about, because there's an underlying theme of, like, adults think that they're different from kids, but they're really not.
Yes.
And, like, the kids stick together, and where adults think more of themselves, and, like, facts.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
This is actually not my problem.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not doing this. Like, as soon as I see, like, sickness, I'm taking my kid and we're going.
Mm-hmm.
Like, whatever you guys choose to do, that's on you. So, anyway. Rabbit hole. So, anyway. Max goes inside and he sees that Tim has set up an operating table. So, he's been very busy while they've been gone. He also sees...
A lot's been happening.
Yeah. He also sees that almost everything in the kitchen has been eaten.
Ransacked.
And Tim is not looking great. He's lost a lot of weight already. And Tim says, there's food in the cooler that I haven't touched. That's for you guys.
Oh,
and I'm not going to leave it there. I know.
Like, this guy... Yeah, I know that he did his best, and I know that, you know, I'm always going to find something that's not good enough. But yeah, he did try. He really cared about these boys. He just really underestimated the seriousness of this.
Yeah. He, like, even in his craziness, okay, no surprise. Tim gets just more and more sick.
Yeah.
And,
spoiler!
Sorry, you were going to find out in 10 minutes anyway.
Yep.
Even, like, through the sickness, he is still, like, trying to protect the boys and, like, staying away from them and things like that. And,
very selfless.
Yeah, and to think about, like, what this sickness does, and because it makes you crazy, and, like, you just are going to eat everything and anything, and, like, he's still trying to be like, no, you guys go.
His moral compass didn't go, and usually that's the first thing to go in someone.
Yeah. So,
him and Max put some alcohol pads on their face to be surgical masks.
Just Max. Just Max.
Right.
Yeah.
Just him.
But we also see that Tim has this inner dialogue, and there's actually a few of them. So there's one who's like, you shouldn't do this, you just need to, like, walk out the door.
The voice of reason is that lizard brain back there, which they talked about lizard brain, which
I
loved. I'm like, hey, we talk about that.
And then the other voice is, well, don't you want to know what it is? Like, you're sick too. You should figure out what's going on.
The doctor in him had to know.
I think it was like the. I can't. Okay, let's just get out what's happening. Okay, so they end up cutting open his stomach, and
I'm looking at you like I didn't read the book. I'm like, and then.
In his stomach is like a tube, is what they say. So he cut opens his stomach, and it looks like there's another stomach lining.
Yep.
In there. And he's like, what are the odds that,
like... This guy has, like, 2 stomachs, and that's
there's
why
no
he's
way.
sick.
Right. So...
He goes to cut the second layer of stomach,
and it like,
moves.
And it, like... I was so, like, what the fuck reading this, so it's like just kind of gathering my thoughts. It like moves around in his stomach, and it's like almost like trying to heal itself or like eating on itself. I don't know, but it comes out. Well, it's like coming out, and then Max is like, Tim, and then it like fully comes out, and it comes like out, and then it's like stomach. 5 feet tall.
Yeah, I pictured like a scary movie. Stomach, person here, monster.
Like, it does it so slowly where it's like a foot, 2 foot, 3 feet. Like, and they kind of describe it as like a headless albino cobra coming out of a basket, and it like lurches towards them, and Tim has the scalpel, and he like cuts it, and then this brown liquid comes out. It's very gross.
It's not a quality film. It's not, so I'm not over here being like, it's this great movie.
5 stars, she recommends it.
Right, yeah. There's this scary movie from like the 90s, I think, or early 2000s called Deepwater Rising, and the monster
Sounds really familiar.
The monster in that movie is so similar to this. And the only difference is that the monster in that movie is like a sea monster.
Okay.
Dude, that was fucking... So I just kept thinking to scenes of that when I was watching, or when I was reading this, and I kept like, oh god! But yeah, this thing... I'm like, how far are we going to spoil the monster now?
Well, we'll just go one by one.
Okay.
So he ends up cutting it, and they're like, oh my gosh, it's a worm. Like, it's some sort... It's a parasite, so I guess we'll just say that.
Yeah.
But they do refer to it as, like, worms a lot. And
but imagine a worm the size of a, like, serpent from biblical times.
It's
like,
huge.
This thing's bigger than a person.
I've pictured it, like, this thick.
Oh,
like,
not conservative. I was
thick.
thinking it was this big around. Like, at least that big around. Jesus. Anyway.
Worms. Anyway. So,
we're trying our best.
We got her. Never mind. Okay. So they end up cutting it, and then the worm, like, well, Tim is still trying to protect Max and is like, cover your mouth, don't let it get near you. Because at this point, Tim obviously knows that it's something contagious because he has it. So...
Can't imagine the horror he felt watching this going, I'm next.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I think that's also part of the reason why he needed to
know.
Dissect this man, is to be like, what is this? And then the worm slithers up the body. Well, it goes back in at one point, and then it comes back out.
Yep.
Which is foul. And then it wraps around the guy's neck and ends up killing him.
Which is like, why would you kill your host?
I never understood that.
All the guy, like, in the character's mindset, they're like, why is it killing its host? Like, what is it? What is
well,
it
they
doing?
talk a lot about, like, well, you come to find out that as soon as the host is dead, the worm is also. So the worm ends up dying. Which
is so confusing.
Yeah, because also, like, in the beginning, it's kind of like just one. And then we come to, like, as things progress, it's definitely not just one.
It's, like, mutating on the spot as it's continuing to go, too, which was weird.
Yeah, so it talks about, like, you find out the way that it works is it's requiring you to eat. It's telling you need to eat, you need to eat, you need to eat. And then all the things that you're eating and all the energy that it has, it's using to just reproduce. So the more you're eating, the more it's reproducing, the, like, sicker you're getting, the more, like, fast-acting it is. It's crazy. It's...
I do have to say, I was in chapter, like, 13 when I went, I wonder if it's and then it turned out I had called it, like, what parasite they used for this, and I'm like...
Oh, that's crazy.
Oh, okay, it makes sense. And I only know that because of, like, all the animals we'd had. I'm like, this behavior is lining up with that.
Like what they used to mutate it?
Yep, and I'm like, now I'm even more afraid of those than I ever was to begin with. And it's not logical because this isn't
Don't try and
real,
make a weight loss pill.
Yeah, don't. Yeah.
So, and then the boys are, like, banging on the door and, like, let us in, let us in. Well, it's really Kent. And then he's like, get away from the door, go far away. Like, you don't want to be in here.
I said no!
Yeah. And they go out and they tell the boys, like, there was a worm in there.
Can you imagine their eyeballs are like this, like an owl, like, bro, what?
I've seen some stuff in there. So they end up telling him, like, it's like a worm, and that's what's doing it. Shelley is watching them talk about it.
Shelley.
And he's very, like, mockingly shocked or disgusted by it. But, like, not actually. Like, you can tell his inner thoughts are he doesn't really care. Mm-hmm. It's weird. They said it was very hollow, inorganic, and and just not normal. And then Kent is like, I need to see it.
Of course you do.
And they're like, you don't need to see it. But Tim ends up trying to block the door from the boys. Kent ends up, like, shoving his way in. And they can tell now that Scoutmaster Tim is also sick. And so they decide to lock him in the utility closet. This is very sad.
That was heartbreaking to read how all the boys kind of, like,
ganged up on
him. Riot energy, and they just all did it. And I know they had to, but I'm already kind of scared of teenagers. So if a group of teenagers did that to me, oh, poor Tim.
Yeah.
Oh my God. And also I was scared because, like, why are you all touching him? Stop touching him. Everyone's obsession with, everyone knows the cabin is dangerous and you're all in the damn cabin.
Yeah. It's so conflicting. I thought that was one of the biggest things with this book is it was so conflicting because, like, on one side, he does need to be isolated and this thing is clearly making you lose your mind and he does need to be locked in the closet.
They did the right thing.
On the other end, Tim is very scared. It's happening to him. He's terrified. These kids that he's raised, basically, are locking him in the closet. He, the way that it's described of him being like, please don't do this, please don't do... Like, it's so sad. And the boys also reflect on, like, that kind of herd mentality of, like, things just got carried away when they did it. But I do ultimately still think it was probably the right decision.
Yeah.
So it is very, like, at the end of the day, this is survival. Like, sorry. This book gave me a lot of Lord of the Flies.
A lot.
Yeah. Which I realized after I read it and I started reading some of the reviews. I don't read reviews till after I'm done because I don't want it to be spoiled.
That's fair.
That a lot of people had that same...
I like going in blind. It's fun.
Thought. That's why I don't read the trigger warnings.
Oh.
But, yeah. So a lot of people thought it was very Lord of the
Flies coded.
esque. Yeah. So... Oh, sorry. They find out
They all are.
They put him in the closet.
After that, the boys kind of end up around the fire, kind of like, so, that was crazy, and, like, think the boat's still coming, right? Right? Yeah, of course the boat's coming, right? Yeah. And then there's Shelley, who's over there hoping that the boat doesn't come so that he can, quote, play his games.
Yeah. They also, like, while the boys are locking Tim in the closet, Shelley has very much, like, a wolf-like grin on his face. He's definitely enjoying this, which is gross. And then so after he's in there, there's a whiskey bottle that Scoutmaster Tim was drinking while performing because he thought it would maybe help to kill the worms.
Fair.
And
I'd probably be down in it.
Kent looks at it and Shelley says, go on, Kent, have a drink.
As if Shelley, like, had clocked already, like, oh, this is a
contagious
contact spread. And he's like, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
That part, I didn't even like Kent, and I was like, no! Spoiler, he drinks it.
He does drink it. Sorry. Oh, so then we start having, like, federal, like, the actual investigation reports and, like, questions and answers. And, one of them is from another doctor that was working, and this is where you start to discover that, like, this was...
Oh, Dr. Erickson was talking about Dr. Edgerton.
Like, it was definitely made in a lab, and Erickson had just gotten out of school when he got this opportunity, and he thought that Clive Egerton is the main guy who made it. He's very smart, but he's also, like, very devoted to the science where he lacks empathy in whatever happens.
So when Shelley gets a degree. Okay.
Basically. Yeah. Wouldn't it be crazy that's his dad? That's not what it is.
But it is so
But
good.
I don't think we ever really hear... Well, we hear about his mom a little bit.
But yeah, there's a lot. Anyway.
Yeah. So you end up finding, like, a little bit there about, like, the actual guy who created this Parasite
Dr. Frankenstein
doesn't really care about what happens. And they were making a pill that rich people could buy to be skinny. That's ultimately what this was come up from, because the world revolves around being skinny, apparently. Yeah. And he says...
a 2-pill system.
Yeah. Clive used to cite the motto that you can never be too rich or too thin. He'd say, if I can make the rich thin, then they'll make me rich.
Yeah, they'll like make my... Yeah.
Gross. Okay, let me get back to where I was at. Okay. What the heck is this? Oh, there's this really sad scene where Max talks about his dad, and there was these birds that were like by like the roof or something, and he keeps trying to get rid of their nest, and the birds keep coming and rebuilding the nest.
That was so... Cut the show! That was so sad.
And it kind of talks about like getting carried away.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was definitely like I do think some of this stuff is like, what are we even doing here? But there is like a lot of like comparisons. And so essentially his dad kept trying to get rid of this nest, and the birds kept coming back. And so then he put like concrete in it with like wire in between. And the dad bird came and it broke its beak and ended up passing away. And when they took the concrete off of it, there was a mama bird and babies in there. And it was really sad, and the dad felt horrible, and he's like, if I would have known, I wouldn't have done it. But it's like, but you still did it. So I think that...
This book was laced with lots of lessons of like, pause and look at what's underneath. Like, always take another... Susie, don't judge a teenager just because he was a douche. Like, look underneath.
No. And so Max thought about this in relation to Scoutmaster Tim and how they all kind of got carried away. But it still doesn't change the fact that they did it. So that was all very sad. And then they start talking about the boat showing up. And like, well, we just need to wait for the boat to show up. Because also they are like, these are grown-ups. Like our parents, the police... The military, the grown-ups are going to come and get us. They're grown-ups. That's what they're supposed to do.
Poor kids.
It's so sad.
Poor kids.
And, so now we have a little bit of a point of view of Tim being trapped in the closet. He does kind of understand that he's ill and the boys had the right to lock him up, even though it really hurt his feelings and like
he was really scared.
The feral feel of the boys like putting him in there was a lot, even though like he gets it.
Yep. And how he could still see his little strip of light from the bottom of the closet. He starts eating the wallpaper. Because in the voice inside of his head is like, there's always more to eat. You can eat anything. And so like, and he says, just eat, like the voice in his head, because the more that he eats, the more that they can breed inside of him. And then, he pushes his fingers below through the door frame, and Shelley ends up duct taping it shut. And Shelley also is like, well, if the boys ask me about it, like, well, I have to protect us. It could be airborne. It could be whatever. So he's doing this. It's essentially just a cruel act. There's no real reason for it in his mind. But he has like his backup. It's an excuse.
And then, so he learn more about how crazy Shelley is. And there's like a spider outside, and he ends up like lighting 2 separate sides of the web on fire to like see what the spider will do, and then it ends up escaping, and
he chases it around and keeps trying to burn it.
And then he hopes that it'll make a new web so he can try again, because he's crazy. He also talks about sometimes he will take legs off of spiders, and he takes photos. That's the only evidence. He doesn't keep anything. Yeah. Anyway. Because spiders couldn't tattle on you.
Look, I don't like spiders either, but I don't torture any living thing. God.
You know? I hope not.
Ugh.
If you do, we need
to talk.
Yeah. I don't know if we need to talk.
You're like, Justin and I need to talk about moving far, far away.
So this is the point where Shelley says maybe the boat won't come, maybe not now, maybe not for a while, maybe not ever. And that would be just fine because it gives him plenty of times to play his games. And if you played them patiently enough, carefully enough, he might be the only one left to greet the boat if it did show up.
So this is actually the origin story of Saw. Got it.
Like,
let's play a game. It's you, Shelley.
It's because I feel like for like 10 or so chapters, you don't really hear much about Shelley, and then it's like, oh, and it just gets worse.
Oh no.
Yeah. So the next morning, the boys wake up and the cooler is gone. It is.
Which I immediately thought, Shelley, are you playing a game?
Because you just said, yeah, that makes sense. And also Kent is looking rather rough. So Kent is clearly sick.
And one thing the boys have noticed with this illness is once you start getting it, you start getting frail thin, like starvation victim thin in a matter of a couple of days, like 3 days.
Yeah. You notice symptoms within like 12 hours of this contamination. And so Kent is not looking good. We also find out about the first test subject, which is Tom Paget, which is the man who showed up. And essentially they said, we're going to inject you and figure out what happens from there. And Tom said, sign me up.
Which anyway, that's a lot of trust. You got to really trust in science for that.
I don't trust people enough for that. And so they did it, and they handed him a nice envelope with cash. And he said, I guess that was enough.
It would have to be
so much. Actually, I don't think this is the first guy. Maybe it is, because they said they gave him cash.
I'm pretty sure it is, too, because they went from the animals to this guy. This guy was the first human. Yeah, okay. You had it right.
Which is crazy. We find out what happens to the animals, and then you thought, let's put this in a person.
Perfect.
Crazy. Anyway, so the cooler was discovered far away. There was no evidence of it being dragged. It was definitely picked up and moved. But from the look of things, because it's just everywhere, wrappers.
Looked like a raccoon or a bear had gotten into it.
They said it did look like there was, an animal had gotten into it. Which, let's put 2 and 2 together here, everybody. Obviously Kent.
But this is a group of boys, not a group of girls, so that's why it took longer for everyone to figure it out. You and me would have had this whole place, figured out.
Not doing this. You lock that door. You want to go in there? Don't come out. I'll tell you that. So, at this time, the boat is supposed to come.
Yep, I had put, the boys are 10 minutes out from the boat, so it's 8:15, 8:20 in the morning.
8:23, and the boat is scheduled to arrive at 8:30. The guy who's supposed to pick them up is very on time.
Old timer on the island, yeah, he's always on time.
While they're waiting for the boat, Kent is kind of slumped over, and he ends up eating, moss.
That part was funny, because I imagined him sitting there like a frog and be like... hoping none of them would notice. It fucked up the laugh.
Don't look at me. Don't look at me. And the boys are like, are you okay? You look a little rough.
Yeah, you good, bud?
Yeah. And then we find out that the night before, surprise, surprise, Kent woke up, was very hungry, took the cooler, was mowing down on it, and good old Shelley's in the bushes, just looking at him in his old Shelley way. And he has a wolfish grin on his face. And Kent essentially threatens him, like, don't say anything or else I'll kick your ass, man. Mm-hmm. And he's like, stupid.
Mm-hmm.
Funny.
He'd have to have feelings to be afraid, Kent, but alright.
Yeah. So, the boat does not come. And a storm comes. Dun dun. And they need to take cover.
But where will they take cover?
The cellar! But they, A, know that Kent is sick and they don't want him down in the cellar.
Yep.
Valid.
Yep.
B,
Yep. Tim
is also still locked in the closet of the house.
Yep.
And it's a really bad storm. And there's a fight between Ephraim and Kent because there's this pent-up testosterone happening, essentially.
Yeah.
And he's like, you can't come down with us, you're sick. And there's this big fight, and
This part, yeah.
Ephraim beats up Kent.
Which I was so worried. I'm like, don't start physically fighting, you guys. No.
Yeah. And also at one point, they go into the house, and they tell the scoutmaster there's a big storm coming, and that Tim is the one who says, go to the cellar. There's blankets, there's candles, get what you can, go down to the cellar. And Max says, like, what about you?
Oh, yeah. And Tim's like, you gotta leave me here.
He said, I think I'll stay right here. And he said, why? He's like, you know why?
I'm not feeling so good.
Yeah. He said, you know why? Are any of the other boys sick? And he said, I think Kent is sick. And he says, I'm so hungry. And at some point, there's blood that comes under the door. And he's like, you're bleeding. And he's like, am I?
Oh my God. Yeah.
So, like, he clearly has harmed himself and doesn't notice or know why that can be. This is so sad. And he tells him
this part.
He tells him to go to the cellar. So we come to the animal testing, and it is a chimpanzee, and they give it to her, and she has all the same problems of the hunger, and she's eating all the food they gave her, so then she starts eating things in the cell. At some point, you can see the worm coming out of her, and she goes through these times of, like, feeling okay to, like, really not doing well, and she also ends up starting to consume her own flesh, which I think was kind of what was happening with Scoutmaster Tim, even though it's not said. I think that's probably what started happening. And she ends up passing away within 15 hours of getting the...
And mind you, while that's all playing,
Parasite.
the doctor's just like, entry 444.
Yeah.
Subject is blah, blah, blah. And then he switches and makes the kid go in.
The other doctor guy.
And the student's like, oh my God, oh Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Like, ah! He's aware of how wrong this is. It was,
yeah,
if y'all really want to know, you read.
Yeah.
You read. I'll even give chapter 20. If all you want to read is just that, there you go. There, I'll even give you the exact chapter. It's horrific.
And she also, like, at one point, like, because the worm has, like, part of it has come out of her, she ends up, like, eating it.
Yes, yep.
This was hard.
It was so gross. I have had a little trouble with food after this book, let's just say.
I finished it this morning. The first thing I ate was when I got here today.
Yeah, I understand. It's not...
Anywho, so this is where the fight breaks out between Eve and Kent. and Max and Newton are like, you can't just leave him out here in a storm. And so they actually end up, after the fight between the two of them, they end up like getting him someplace, and they give him a tarp to keep dry, and it's very sad.
You saw them trying so hard to be good people. Like, I'm sure the parents would have been proud. Like,
yeah. And also Kent is like, I'm sorry. So like it's so sad. It's so hard because it's also, he is sick. Yeah. You can clearly see that he's sick.
Scared, alone, and their children.
Yeah. Yeah. And then
the cyclone comes in. It's like full on storm.
Oh, also when they're like trying to find him a place and they end up getting him covered, like a
the bug.
Yeah, a bug like crawls onto his face, and Kent just like
again like a frog.
Like a frog, and they're all like,
"Oh, like you're not good."
Okay, and they go back to the cellar. So
I my imagination had pictured they put him like in a wood pile lean-to situation, like just a little, like not that big, but big enough.
Big enough to tuck him in there.
Yep.
Yeah, same. And then while the boys are finding Kent a place to stay, Ephraim and Shelley are down in the cellar, and Ephraim's like, "What are you looking at?" And Shelley's like, "Nothing." And he's like, "What is it?" And then he's like, I just thought I saw something under your fingernails. Because
fucking asshole. Oh my God. Sorry.
Agreed. This was so sad. So Ephraim is noticing that his knuckles are busted from picking a fight with Kent.
I immediately panicked.
Because Kent is infected and Kent was bleeding, and so he's like, what if some of his blood got into my knuckles, and da-da-da-da. So he's already spiraling, and Shelley's like,
let me just...
It's like, nothing, I just thought I saw something under your fingernails. And so he really hyperfixates on it, and it's very, 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 very sad. So the storm comes, trees fall, and one of them ends up actually falling through the roof of the cabin. So it falls partly like on the cellar area, so they know like it had fallen. They're like, oh my gosh, Scoutmaster Tim is in the house. And also Kent comes and starts banging on the cellar door, please let me in. And they end up letting him in. Ephraim does.
Shook.
And says, get in, but you
have... To the corner!
You have to sit away from us, I'm sorry. Which, Kent was like, yeah.
No problem. Like, oh, now you can listen, huh? Now you're taking orders?
Yeah.
One last sip.
So, another theme throughout the book is how, like, worms, like, really can exist through, like, anything. Like, they have that, like, cockroach mentality of, like, well, I'm gonna make it. And so they talk about the way that they were gonna, the doctors talk about the way that they were gonna administer the weight loss medication was through sugar pills, because worms can live through anything, so it might as well taste good. And it was like, they were, like, frozen or whatever. And then, so as soon as they hit your digestive tract, they would come alive.
And most of the time, parasites need a warm, wet environment. So if it's, in the human body is the perfect temperature for growing things.
And he talked about, like, you could send these bad boys to space, and then you could find them out in space, and they would still work. Like, they would work no matter how long it's been or where they're at. Like, as soon as it hit the digestive tract, it would be fine. Gross. Also, the boys say we need to go check on the Scoutmaster, but Kent, you stay here. Kent has braces, and there's a bunch of stuff stuck in his braces, like bugs and things, and also his teeth have started falling out, all but one, but they're like hanging on by that one. Ugh. So he's decaying. Mm-hmm. They go upstairs, and unfortunately, Scoutmaster Tim, the tree fell on him.
Which also, the most merciful thing that could have happened to Tim.
Yeah. It fell on his head.
So
also.
It was quick. Thank goodness.
And they're like, I don't know what to do. And then his stomach starts coming up. Mm-hmm. And it's very much alien movie where they break out of his stomach, the navel of his stomach, mm-hmm. and they just all start coming out.
And not only that, but the boys realize that these parasites are aware that other things are around.
Yeah, because they like start to come towards them, and
when the boys talk, then they like move and hiss and chatter, and that's what made me think of that sci-fi movie I had watched, because that's what the monsters do, is they tick, they like hiss and while they start chasing you. Blah! I like couldn't swim in water for a few summers comfortably after that movie, and I knew it was a cheesy movie. Just like, sometimes the cheesiest ones freak me out the most.
Yeah, fair. And they also discovered that they have like little mouths on them.
It's also, that's when they start to talk about in the book that the doctor specifically chose tapeworms because they're the most like aggressively, they grow the fastest, and they make their hosts very hungry because they need you to eat, because they eat you.
It's all very icky.
Gnarly.
So R.I.P. Scoutmaster Tim. Mm-hmm. You didn't deserve that. I'll say that. No,
the one character that definitely, like, nobody deserves to die, Shelley. But
besides maybe Shelley. Yeah, for sure. So we also find out that it is actually impossible for anybody to satisfy that kind of hunger that these worms are giving them. Mm-hmm. There's also like you don't find out here, but at some point you find out there's like a queen bee, queen worm that travels up your spine into your brain, and that's the one that is
it's the puppeteer.
Eat.
Yeah, it makes you
and then it lays eggs along the way in case it dies, it can have successor queen worms.
I've never seen us be so uncomfortable.
It's all so gross.
It's so icky.
We haven't even gotten to the cave part.
I know!
Part is the worst. Okay. Anyway, so after that, Newt is, I've come to find out, I'm a little bit of a Newt. Because he's like, okay, let's make a list of things we need to do. He's like, we need to find food, we need to get some medicine for Kent, and we need to either make a raft or get some oars for the boat that we have.
Because we gotta go.
We gotta figure out what we're doing here. Which is so...
That's so you, Cody.
I would have done that yesterday. Uh-huh. Like, as soon as I knew something was going on, how do we get out of here?
As soon as you and me make eye contact and our eyes realize we're both going, hey!
Hey, we're kind of fucked here.
Hey, I'm kind of having a... Oh, thank God! Okay, me too. I've been feeling it.
So do you think maybe, Yes, I do.
Yes, I do. And do you not like Shelley either? Fucking hate the guy. Let's go.
We need to hide. We're finding that cave first, actually.
Yes.
That's where we're hiding
Yes.
now. Okay. So, they,
The boys end up, like, kind of after the cabin, they all are kind of on the shore. So Cyclone has just ended. Everyone's sick. Tim is dead. What did they just see? And they're all just kind of like...
They're watching the boats. They realize that the boats are actually probably military.
And are watching them.
And, who was it? Shelley is kind of putting the thoughts out there of, like, you really think anybody's going to come and get us?
That was funny. When starts planting the seeds of doubt.
Yeah, and he says, I'm saying that maybe they won't let us leave. Even if we build a raft, they'll keep us right here because we're contagious. Because, hello? And Max is like, our folks won't let that happen. They're adults. Adults don't do stuff like that.
Oh,
so
sweet
sad.
Max.
Anywho, so they decide that... a boat comes.
They saw their neighbor's, like, expensive boat. Mr.
Cigarette
Womack's
boat
starts mobbing across the little bay. That was a joke, right? That'd be so my dad on his little ski boat, like, no!
Oh, I can't go?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Yeah. Watch me.
With his little attitude.
I know, and his beard flowing in the wind.
Oh, really? You're gonna tell me? Like, I literally can, so... Her dad hates the word literally.
And now when he makes jokes about her and I, he will be like, no, it literally happened. And we're like, oh, Steve, good job.
I literally died.
He's gonna love that we shouted him out.
Did you literally?
But did you die is his other classic.
Anyway, so the boat comes like skidding and it hits too big of a wave and the engine cuts out. And the boys can see this happening but they also are like, what the heck's this guy doing? Mm-hmm. And then black boats come. They end up removing the people from the boat. There's 2 people, and they end up. The hell out of them. They do beat them, but we don't find that out till later. And then they end up blowing up the boat. And
then the other boats just disappear. Can you imagine being the person on land watching? Savior! Huh? Wait, what? Me? Don't forget about me!
And so we haven't found out yet. So we'll keep the order here. So Newt has to go inside to get rope or something. I don't remember.
Were they going to tie up?
And his guidebook.
Oh, yeah, his field book. So they could find, yeah.
Because they also start thinking of, like, there's plants that have, like,
natural diuretics and stuff.
Yeah. So there's things that they can find to maybe try and wash some of the parasites out, which is kind of a good idea.
Good thinking. Yep.
Yeah, I don't want it to begin with, but if we gotta do plan B and C, that's actually pretty good here.
Yep.
So, and like when he goes in the cabin and he goes to the room and he can like hear the worms moving. Mm-hmm.
Very descriptive. This author, like, really...
Foul!
Yeah.
Foul. And so he ends up, like, getting a sleeping bag and he puts it over him to, like, protect him. And then he like... what was it? He, like, fell or something?
Slipped in the nastiness.
He went to the closet. He got out his stuff he needed. He's like, don't breathe them in, don't breathe them out. The Scoutmaster's arm. Yeah, so he ends up coming, like, across Scoutmaster's body without really realizing it. And he flings the sleeping bag over him. So now he's at least covered. And he gets his rope and he hightails it out of there.
Mm-hmm. Icky.
So, we find out that the people on the boat were Kent Jenkins' dad, so the town police chief, and Max's dad.
2 dads said, F you, I'm gonna go get my kid.
Yeah, so they tried to go get them. And then, so also in this report, the public finds out that the scout troop 52 is on that island along with the boys. And there's no comment on what had happened still.
Of course.
Because we can't be honest. So they decide that they need to go and find food. Kent is locked in that cellar. And Shelley is missing. They call him, he doesn't answer. And so they're like, should we just go anyway? And they decide that they have to. They have to go find food somewhere. And as they're walking, like these 3 are kind of like actually friends. Kent is too, but like in a different way where he's still kind of a bully. Mm-hmm. But so they kind of are like just being boys and stuff. And Max realizes that Ephraim has started scratching his elbows so much that they're bleeding. And he's scratched through his windbreaker. So, and he's also been like very obsessive about his knuckles. Then they end up... Oh! So then we get Shelley's point of view. And Shelley purposely waited until the boys left. So he was hiding from them because he wanted to play his games in earnest.
Okay.
This guy. I'm just saying.
Some people's kids.
And then he did end up actually following them for a bit.
So he's a fucking creep.
Just to make sure that they were out of his way. So once the boys were gone enough that he thought, he went back to the cabin and he was excited. Oh, so excited. It took events of precarious magnitude to pierce the Teflon plating surrounding Shelley's emotional core to make him feel much of anything. Because he's crazy.
Such a good description for...
But there was so much to hold his interest today. And he starts to play these games with... Oh, I didn't highlight any of this. And I'm just going to touch on it very, very briefly. Shelley at home escalated his abuse of animals to a really horrific extent, and you do hear it all. And he ends up killing his mom's cat, and we're not gonna
lock that kid up.
That's
and
all
throw
I'm gonna
away
say.
The key. Like, come on.
Yeah, it was really, really hard to read. It was really hard to read. And I think I would have skipped it if it weren't for this.
Agreed.
Like, I felt like I needed to read it because of this.
That's how I felt too. I hated, like, if we had just been reading this book to read the book,
yeah,
I would have skimmed through. But
yeah,
you don't
I don't
know
need
what
to
you
know all
have
that.
to. I cried my way through it.
Yeah, I love cats. I love them. It's no joke. Or no surprise to anybody that I love cats. And I'm going to cry thinking about it. So anyway, so you definitely see more magnitude of what Shelley is capable of.
This isn't a kid. This is a predator.
Yes, very much so. And so he goes to the cellar and he ends up taunting Kent of like, oh, well, I got steak and this and that, and oh, the military did drop off a food package. Would you like anything? And he ends up bringing him like bugs and stuff like that for him to eat. And he also is like very taunting of like Kent ate all the food and how disgusting that is and how could he do that. But like, he's so crazy because he's like, oh, you're still hungry even after you ate all of our food? Do you think I should let you out? Because he's like, please, I'm so hungry. And so he brings him bugs. He also brings him the worm from the original guy.
Yeah, that's right. You heard that here, folks. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And gets him to consume it.
And Shelley calls this his ultimate playground, which is crazy.
He gets him out of the cellar, too.
Yeah. He gives it to him. And then, we start to realize that Shelley is definitely going to start playing into Ephraim's
delusions and fears.
Yeah, I would say like paranoia about like potentially having it. Mm-hmm. And we also find out that he really didn't see anything under Ephraim's fingernails. He just said that to like get into his head, and it clearly worked.
It's like if you know you have a friend with OCD and you taunt them, it's just so fucked up.
Yeah, he said that was all it had taken. The smallest seedling, he split Ephraim's skin, just the tiniest cut, and slipped that seed in. So Ephraim's fine, but like he doesn't know that he's fine, and it's very, very sad. So Ephraim decides that he is done walking. He's exhausted. They haven't found anything. He's not going any further. And also at this point, Ephraim and Max get into a fight, and he ends up punching Max in the face. That's really hard because they're best friends. And Ephraim knows that he has an anger issue, and he tries to keep it in check. And so he says, I'm sorry. And Max is like, it's okay. Like, I know. And he's like, no, it's not okay. And so they're like, are you sure you want to stay here? And he says yes. And they're like, we'll be back. So Max and Newton leave him in the woods by himself. So after they're gone, he really starts messing with his hands. Oh, and Ephraim, like, talks to the worm in himself and is like, we could just share. We could share me. Like, please don't take everything from me. Like,
yeah,
it's
trying to reason with it.
Yeah, you share me, my body, okay, but like you can't do to me what you did to Scoutmaster Tim. You really shouldn't have done that. Maybe you can't help yourself. I get it. I have control issues too. We could, like, live together, but you can't. You better not. You better not fucking eat me.
Trying to coexist.
Yeah.
Aww.
And so we also found out in the chapter with Shelley that Shelley had left a walkie-talkie in Ephraim's bag to mess with him. And so he ends up calling through and is like, you guys left without me. And he's like, well, we couldn't find you. And he's like, it's okay. I'm not angry. Like, how's it going? And he
this
says,
part.
I'm by myself. Newton Max left me. And he's like, oh, really? And
perfect. My prey is alone.
And so essentially Shelley has convinced Ephraim that he does have the parasite in him, but he can get it out. He can get it out. And so Ephraim essentially ends up carving his body to try and get these worms out. And Shelley says to him, what would you rather, Eve, put up with a little pain or get eaten by the worms?
This would be such a good horror movie. This would be the absolute best horror movie.
And so we're left with Ephraim ends up picking up his knife. Because at first he puts it down, and then he ends up picking it back up. Shelley's like coaching this entire thing. It's so
I watch
so
a lot
sad.
of murder documentaries about stuff like this.
Yeah.
You're just like, oh my god.
So Max and Newton, they end up finding blueberries, and so they ate their fill of blueberries. They definitely end up bonding, and at one point they do kind of get into a tiff, and Newton is like, I can't take it right now. Like, do not pick on me. And Max is like, whoa, like, I wasn't trying to, I'm just saying. And he's like, I get it, I'm nerdy, I'm fat, I'm this, I'm that. Like, I don't need to hear it right now. And it was so sad, because Max is like, I'm not trying to, like, I'm just saying, like, yeah, you know everything. Like, you're really smart and stuff like that. It was so... it's so sad. This book is just so sad. And gross. So they also find a turtle.
No, not the turtle, okay? That was so... I know the cat was equally
really
sad,
hard.
but this was just...
So they end up finding a turtle, and they are starving, and so they're like, meat, score. But the turtle really puts up a fight.
Bad at it too. But Susie, they're children.
They're like 15. The turtle really puts up a fight and just will not let go. And Max is sobbing, and he's like, please, just
die.
Yeah, please. Why won't you die? And it ends up being a very excruciating situation.
Both, I mean, obviously the turtle had it worse, but the boys also were really mentally messed up from their mistake. And they were so distraught they didn't even consume it.
Yeah.
Like, they were so distraught.
And he ends up, like, asking Newt, like, can you please help me? Like, and so they end up burying it. And they also, this is a little bit after that, they end up finding turtle eggs on the beach. And they help the turtles get in the ocean, and they protect them from the birds and stuff. And so I think that kind of makes them feel better.
They're
but
trying
not
to get
really.
their karma back, at least, of any kind.
So sad. That was really, really hard. And, like,
that was really hard
Max just being like, please, like, they don't want to do this. They're definitely, like, they're not Shelley. They're not enjoying it.
They had been out for days, and they're actually hungry, not parasite hungry. They're hungry.
Yeah. Poor kids. It was so sad. We also get, after that, a interview style thing, and we find out that there's one lone survivor of the island tragedy, and he stated that the infected people seemed like they were stronger and happier when they were falling apart, like they couldn't see what was actually happening to them. So they had, like, this delusion of
strength and power.
Yeah. This is more about Ephraim trying to get the worms out of him, and he's losing a lot of blood, and his speech is slurring, and Shelley is continually
coaching him.
Yeah, trying to get him to continue, and you have to keep trying, or are you a weak, sucky baby, like everybody says that you are. He says that, like, people talk bad about him at school and saying, like, how weak he actually is.
And he's like, no, I'll prove I'm wrong.
Yeah.
They're just so sneaky. If I can just... Oh, my God.
Yeah. Yeah, because he says that they keep, like, getting away from him as soon as he goes to grab them. After that, we get a interview with Kent Jenkins' dad, the police chief.
Yes.
And we find out that they never found Kent's body. So...
and how it really tore up, like, the dad as a person.
They needed closure. Yeah. And that's also where we find out that the police ended up beating them really badly when they tried to go over to the island, or the military, I guess. Yep. So we know that Kent's body was never found. So we get back to Kent. Okay, so Kent's point of view at this point, after he's eaten the worm, is he is, like, transformed into this, like, mega powerful guy.
It's like he felt internally the way he sees his dad, an unstoppable force of nature, like the strongest man.
He was powerful. Oh, yes. The brand new strength shot through him. Pounds of muscle were slapped onto his arms and legs. His chest cracked apart and widened as his shoulders grew broader and thicker. He did not feel pain or fear anymore. Was this how a superhero felt, or God? What was he now? So, that's how he's feeling. That is not how he's looking, we come to find out, but he is feeling like Zeus.
$1,000,000.
Yeah. Then we get Shelley's point of view, and once it becomes nightfall, Shelley decides that he's going to dispose of Kent.
Oh, how thoughtful of him.
Because he can't have too many dishes he's juggling here, you know.
Can't be spinning that many plates.
Literally. And so we get Shelley's point of view of Kent when he ends up opening the cellar, and Kent is just skin and bones framed. He's also covered in boils, and is just not looking as great as he feels, that's for sure. And he's also slurring his words a lot, like cognitively he's going, obviously. And he ends up kind of like, come on, like grabbing him out of there. Ken's teeth are all gone. And he takes him back, or he takes him down to the water.
Yep. They kind of may go a roundabout way, but yeah, he basically is like, he's mocking him, kind of just playing with a toy, and gets him to come onto the shoreline because he wants to get him in the water.
Yeah, and he keeps saying, show me, I want to see, I want to see, I want to see, and he says, show me, and Kent ends up coughing in his face. And he's like, oh, and then he kind of realizes that he's a little bit in danger, but he's still like, show me. And it's, I don't remember exactly, I think it's like the fear that he wanted to see, or like underneath the delusion of like his body is depleted and he's not doing well. And he ends up putting his head into the water, and
because I had pictured him like wading him out to almost waist deep, and then started
dunking him.
This part
was
disturbing. Okay, so
so he ends up going further and further, and he's like pulling him by his hair, and it ends up detaching, and thousands of white little worms come out, and
are swimming in the water.
They're everywhere, and
this couldn't get any worse.
There's a sting in his hand, a light burning sensation, only less severe. It ends up being everywhere. I did think I found it a little fitting that it also went into him on the downstairs, considering that he is aroused by all these crazy things. That felt like a little bit of a good justice for me of like, there you go. How about that?
Fuck around and find out, huh?
Yeah. So Shelley ends up dragging himself back to shore.
And then kind of like getting hilarious, which like this is what he thought was funny.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is what you wanted to get, I guess. He ended up just going back to the fire, and then we see a snippet of like him feeding himself like obsessively. I feel like Shelley's route with this goes a different way, but I think that's also like cognitively he had a different mindset, which is disturbing.
Yes, so gross.
That's a turtle part.
Oh, and we haven't even gotten to, oh my god.
The cave?
Well, no, even before that. Ephraim.
Yeah. So, we find out that the doctor that created this, he's incarcerated and he's been in the mental health wing since he was arrested. Turns out. And then, okay. So the bull, that's Shelley.
Back to the berry picking boys.
Oh, you find like Shelley is very like kind of aware of what's going on in his body, so he feels that worm
going up
slither up his spine,
tunneling through, pop, snap, crackle, pop.
Yeah. And again, the voices eat, but it's like he's happy to do it in a way.
Yeah, and he was like calling them his babies and how he's gonna take care of them.
Yeah, that's later.
Oh,
that's later. Yeah, but this is still just like eat. It was so gross. And so they're like, so then we're back to Max and Newton, who are like, okay, we gotta get back to camp. We got some berries for Ephraim. Let's hit it. And they end up coming across Ephraim, and he just has wounds everywhere. And Ephraim is like, they're inside of me, or maybe there's just one. I don't know, but they're very sneaky.
Like,
and they're like,
help me.
And yeah, so he ends up saying, like, you have a bigger knife. Can you please help me? And they're like, Ephraim, like, you don't look any skinnier. Like, you're clearly not infected is what they're getting at. But they end up telling him, like, well, we have some mushrooms and we'll give you those, like, to kind of flush it out. If that doesn't work, then yeah, we'll help you. Just to kind of get him to calm down. Because he thinks that he has it. Like, there's no doubt in his mind that he has it, and somebody told him that he had it, and they're like, who are you talking to? Who are you talking to?
Like, you did it perfectly!
And Max sees, like, along his temple, his veins, and he's like, oh my gosh, they really do look like worms. So this whole time, Ephraim's been pulling at his veins to try and get them out. Clearly doesn't work. So they return to camp with him, and Kent is gone, and Shelley I don't think is there at the
time. Don't know, don't care.
And they're really scared. They're starting to get really scared. They're still kind of holding out hope that adults will come. Like, they're not just going to leave them out there. Adults will come. Adults will come. Adults will come.
Oh, poor kids.
It's very sad. And then we get... there's a guy working at the lab. And we find out there was a deposit made to the lab's bank account, and it was from a military research firm.
Gasp.
I'm so surprised.
Yeah.
So a big theme in this is, like, was this on purpose? Did the military set this up? Or was this actually just a crazy guy? There was also a part where we find out...
Both can be true.
Somebody who really had known the doctor was, like, given the day off, was signed to leave, and their fingerprints were on, like, the back gate where the man was let out. So it's kind of alluded beach, and Shelley comes out of the cell table, and again he's like, or Ephraim tells Shelley he's not looking so great. Who knew? And Shelley says, you saw it, didn't you? Because he's just gaslighting Ephraim. And he's like, the worm. And he's like, yeah. And he's like, it's inside of me. And Ephraim is like, it's still there. It's still there. Like, can you help me get it out? Because he's like asking anybody who will listen, like, can you please help me? You have to get it out. And he's like, why do you need me to do that? Is it because you're weak? Like, Shelley is such an asshole. And he's like, I can't do it. It's just too sneaky. I can't get it. And he ends up telling him, like, I see it. And he's like, do you really see it? He's like, yeah, it's behind your eyes. And he's like, you have to get it out me. I can't stand it. I can't do it. And he's like, I'll do it, but only because we're friends. He doesn't... I don't know how he convinces him.
I don't either.
And during this, Ephraim's, like, thanking him. Like, thank you for trying to get it. Oh, he says that he can't cut it out because it's too sneaky. The only way to get it out is to burn it. And, Ephraim's eyes were a little white and wide, and the bloody mask of his face. Shelley's words came to him as a revelation. They were the most sensible words anybody had ever spoken.
Because I forgot, this was after he basically scalped him.
Yeah, he had, like,
cut. Oh, yeah. This was so terrible.
And so he says, I have to burn it out, Ephraim. It's the only way, my friend. You know that, don't you? You're my very best friend. And, Ephraim tries to hand Shelley the lighter, or he goes to get the lighter, and Ephraim says, "Oh, it's okay, I have my own," and hands him his Zippo. And it's all very horrendous. They end up pouring the gasoline on him. And by the time that Newton and Max are back, Ephraim is just completely on fire, and they can't
save him.
And it's horrible. So this entire time, Ephraim was never infected, and this was all just Shelley's, like, crazy...
sick fantasy.
...mind game, and...
it's like his second confirmed kill, too. That just...
Yeah.
Wow.
And Shelley isn't there when they come back. And then he does come back, and they were like, Where were you? And he's like, oh, I was just out.
Running errands.
So crazy. And they see that Shelley is sick, too. So, was that from Justin?
I was like, that was 2 in a row. Is everything okay? Oh, okay.
And there's another one. And so they say, like, stay away from him. And Shelley and Max get into a fight. And Shelley ends up stabbing Max in the stomach.
That's when I was ready to throw hands, too. Like, not that I wasn't before, but I was getting really mad. Like, y'all leave Max alone.
Yeah. And Newton, I don't know why I keep saying Newton.
It's okay. My brain keeps thinking that you're calling him mutant, and I'm like, oh, there's a mutant? Oh, I missed that.
He ends up grabbing a baseball and he ends up grabbing something, and he ends up hitting Shelley across the head with it, and he's like, I had to. He was gonna kill you if I hadn't.
Yep.
So Shelley ends up getting up,
sulking off into the woods, probably with a wolfish grin on his face.
He ends up getting up and is like, I'm gonna, end you. And he ends up, like, spitting at them because he knows that he's infected.
That.
Gross! Yeah. And they also end up hitting his knee with something. And as he's, like, limping off, Max is like, I might have broken his knee because he's...
Thank God.
...limping. And he's like, they were like, what do we do if he comes back? I don't know what we do. And they end up deciding that they have to bury Ephraim. Because that's the only way he'll get to heaven. So sad. After that, Max ends up going to sleep. And he ends up, like, going to sleep on the grave, and which was so sad.
So sad.
Because he has, like, moments of, like, we'll never do this again, we'll never do that, we'll never... Which all the boys kind of have this revelation of, like, we're never going to get married, we're never going to have kids, we'll never go on that hike again together, we'll never hang out after school, and, so Max ends up falling asleep. We get back to Shelley's point of view, and he is eat. He needs to eat. He wants to eat everything. He's found this, like, cave thing that he'll go in. He claims that he's not sick. He's just changing into something new. He could feel it inside of him. this is where he really starts honing in on he has these babies inside of him and he's going to take care of them. And a father always defends his children. So gross. And he ends up exiting the cave and he goes back to camp, and Newton, for the love, Kylee.
You're doing amazing, sweetie.
Is still awake, and he's like by the fire, and he sees Shelley, and he's like, I see you, and he has a knife, and he's all, yoo-hoo!
Yeah, literally.
He ends up stabbing the knife into a log, and Shelley, he says, like, go away. Just
go on.
Get out of here.
Get out of here.
You
go on. Get out of here.
Make some blood. And Shelley does leave. And
I have an eyelash that's waging war on me. Get out of here.
Get out of here. Much later, he is in the cave, and he is like, this is the best place to give birth. Daddy, he's gonna be the best daddy, just the best.
This repulsed me, like, just so bad. That this just really gave me so many icky feelings.
Yeah. And so then we get kind of like a military point of view interview of, like, when they quarantined this area, they did know the boys were on it, and there's nothing they could do about it. They essentially, it was cut
collateral
and dry.
Damage.
Nothing came on that island. Nothing came off.
Nothing out.
And, like, even seagulls who flew over the area were brought
shot
down
out of the sky
and taken out of the water. They had dumped, like, blue death into the river area.
Kill sea life.
Kill anything and everything. They flew over the island to drop stuff to, like,
kill it.
Kill everything. Like,
so sad.
It was non-negotiable.
No life was allowed to be on this island.
And at one point the interviewer is like, you didn't think to tell the kids what were going on? And he was like, nothing comes in or off of that island. We weren't taking anything in there. If we would have told them, it would have just made them worse. Lose their minds. And the interviewer is like, it didn't seem like they had lost their minds anyway. Like, really? Mm-hmm. But it was very, like, zero feelings about it. And from that man's point of view. Mm-hmm. It was what it was. It was unfortunate, I guess, but I can't let him leave. So
weird.
Yeah. Max ends up having this weird dream about these things in a darkness, and he ends up waking up and realizing that the man who arrived on the boat probably ate the spark plugs.
Yes.
And they were in his stomach. Guess what happens? Suit up. 10 minutes later, they're in the cabin. He puts on like dishwashing gloves and then also bread bags over his arms.
So
they tape it.
That would so be us.
They tape it to then get into the stomach to grab the spark plugs. They are successful. They end up going down to the boat. They're going to wash them off, and then they lay them on the pink rock to dry. And they have hope.
Which, again, why are you setting those fucking things down? Before I even read any farther, I went, I would not have done that.
Yeah. They end up, there's no gas in the boat, so they leave.
It ain't got no gas in it.
They leave to go find gas, and when they come back, the spark plugs are gone. And they're like, I wonder where they went.
As they both think about Shelley.
Yeah. And, what is this? Bloodburn. Oh, Max and Newton get into it. Because they're both frustrated. Let's be so for real.
Yep.
And so they end up fighting, and Newton actually fights back, and Max is like, and he has this, like, I don't remember the persona that he's created online, but he has like this
WW. What
would so and so do?
Mm-hmm.
In his like dialogue, and so he's like he would fight back. Oh, WWAMD. So as soon as they have that frustration out, they're like, "All right, what do you think happened to Sparks plugs?"
Yeah.
They're just like, "Yeah," and they think that obviously Shelley took them. Good old game of hide and seek, fetch boys fetch, and they're like, "Let's go find him."
Nah, I would beg you to just help me make oars out of sticks and be like, can we just let Shelley do what he's gonna do?
Agreed.
Like, I'm not gonna play the game.
No!
I don't play games.
No.
Mind games, no.
Anymore.
Yes. Over that. We have graduated.
Agreed. Yeah. I think I would have done that day 2. Like, okay, let's build some oars then and get out of here.
We'd be building slingshots to, like, taunt the military. Like, they won't keep ignoring us if we attack them enough. Like, they'll come tell us, oh, boys!
Sisme, can you get me out of here? There's a lot of crazy stuff happening.
I'll bet another country's military is stronger and could come get me, you weak ass!
I couldn't put this in here. Oh, China! I heard they have bigger boats.
Yeah!
Hello.
Yeah. They actually get shit done.
Yeah. Oh yeah. I would have been gone by this point. Mm-hmm. Actually, I'm gonna try and swim. Mm-hmm. So they'll see me in the water. Maybe they'll come and get me. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Get myself. That door that's on the cabin. Yeah, I could use that.
Yep.
I could use that.
And guess what, Jack? There is enough room for both of us.
Mm-hmm. If not, we're going to tie logs to the other side of it. Yeah, we would have been gone.
And then I want the Pirates of the Caribbean, like, theme song to play while we're doing it.
Okay, so the boys are on their way to find Shelley.
Yep, because they're going to play the game.
Is the grossest thing of this entire book.
It was really
I hated this. This grossed me out so bad. So, we're going to get through it.
Okay.
So, they end up tracking down Shelley by the scent. Because...
Oh, yeah, the ketosis. When they talked about that, I chuckled to myself about, like, just dieting and stuff. I'm like...
So, the boys do end up smelling Shelley, essentially. It's a sweet, gross... stench that the people who contract this get. And they end up finding this like cave and they're like going down in it. They're terrified. And Shelley says that he heard them coming. He's all very excited about it. Silly little boys trying to get back to their silly little home, but their silly little families. And he talks about like they could be daddies too.
We can all be daddies and raise them together, and it just
the way that he says this is so disturbing.
Gross.
What a lovely idea. And then as they're like coming into the cave, they can hear like the noise of the worms and get me off of this island! I would be so done.
And I'm a little ashamed, but not too ashamed to admit that if I knew there was no way out of this contagion, I would remove myself from the situation before given the opportunity for it to get me. Like,
yeah.
Sorry.
See, here's the thing.
I'm going on my own terms. Like, not that.
What would be me is, I would be up in those trees. You can't find me. I'm not making a sound. I'm not coming down. I don't care. Like, these boys are seeing themselves out in their own, like, twisted
and you're
game
gonna have
playing.
a bird's eye view.
So I'm going to know they're all gone at some point. The military's going to come here at some point.
And still can't find you.
And I'm going to be up in this tree. Yoo-hoo! The lone survivor. Like... I'm not, because they're going to think everyone's dead. And I'm going to be up in the tree chewing on these leaves.
And not because you're hungry. Just
no, because I can't say that.
Yep.
I'm just chill.
Yep.
Like, my eyes are seeing some shit. Like, okay. So anyway, they're down in this cave. And the way that they describe Shelley.
I felt like I was there. They did it so well.
Foul.
Uh-huh.
So they describe him like hunched in this cave, and he's like a spider. In his arms, he's like crawling down, and he's just like, yes, yes, yes.
It was so creepy.
And his arms and
almost
his
like
legs.
A gargoyle up on a little
Yeah. Yeah. And he's just skin and bones, and the way.
Except for here.
He's just like got this beach ball of a stomach because his babies are in there.
And you can like see the shape of what they are.
It
through
moving,
his skin.
and he's like crawling around. And it's so
gross.
So gross.
Like
and he's
don't
naked
believe us.
also.
Yeah, because who needs that? Yeah.
Yeah. And he's like crawling towards them, and they're at one point he like gets on top of Newton, and he's like, get off me, and they're like poking him with their stick that they made, and Shelley's stomach just bursts all over Newton, and it is just foul.
It's really bad. Like, this was gnarly.
This was really, really gross. And
which
so
then I feel horrible for Newton. Because now, I mean, he had done so good and
he
not
didn't
been
deserve
exposed.
This.
No, and this is how he gets exposed?
Yeah. And then we get to like an interview style, and we find out that 2 years ago, the doctor was actually put on a watch list to be like watched, the guy who made this, because he was pretty dangerous. And that's when we end up finding that the person who signed off on the papers for that one guy to have leave, that guy's fingerprints were found on the door. So it's definitely like speculated that this was all planned. Mm-hmm. So that's when we find that out.
And they thought that this island would be safe to watch it all play out.
Yeah.
Like, they really didn't. The people in charge in the military weren't like, well, let's wait till the kids get here because I want to see what this. Like, that was a oopsie. Which
is interesting. Like, why wouldn't you let it play out like it did for all your other test subjects? Like, why? Why? Uh-huh. Well, because they wrote a book about it, but anyway.
Yep.
So as they come out of the cave, Max and Newton is like, don't come near me, because it's all over him. Mm-hmm. And so he decides that he's gonna go wash up in the ocean and see like if that will help.
Which I'm like, no, the water isn't safe anymore either.
Oh, see, my thought was the water's killing everything. Heck yeah. Oh. Go wash up in that ocean at that point. Okay, well, wash up anyway because gross. But he comes back to camp after he's washed up, and they go to sleep. And when Max wakes up, Newton tells him that he took the mushrooms and they work. Like, he's violently ill, but as this bile and things are coming up, like, you can see the parasites in there. So I had a little hope there for him. Sometime in the morning, a helicopter comes across the sky. Max like yells at it like, help us. And
it's like, cool story, bro, and flutters off.
Yeah. They also end up thinking, like, Newton starts thinking about, I wonder who built them and built what, the worms, because they're just like too perfect and like taking stuff out, where they start to question if they were engineered. They also have hope that maybe Kent swam back to the mainland because he's too strong to take down like that. Aww. That was really sad. It's getting hot in here.
Summer.
Then they end up looking into Newton's eye because he can feel something. And there is like a tiny worm in his eye, but it's not like around his eye, it's in his eye. Mm-hmm. And so that's very sad. Yeah. And they also, Max decides that he needs to go get those spark plugs. And so he does. This is all just very gross. He ends up like slipping and touching Shelley's body, which is moving. but like not on his own. And so like whatever's in him is still alive.
Yep.
Which
it's
is
mutated
crazy.
again.
Yeah,
now
so
it can
it's
survive outside of the host.
Yeah, so it's mutated to that point. This is just icky. They've like cocooned up into Shelley's body and they're like all wrapped together. Long story short, Max does get the spark plugs from the cave, and Shelley's body is still being used as like a incubator type situation.
So fucking gross. Just so gross. So gross.
When Max gets back, Newton is awake, and there's like a patch of gauze over his eye, and the other eye is
cloudy and
there,
gone,
but yeah, it's having some issues. And he's like, I got the spark plugs, and Newton like doesn't think that he should go because he's infected, and Max really does not want to leave him there. Like, he has this internal thing of like,
literally the way I would like just duct tape your mouth shut and be like, sit in the corner of the boat, like,
shut your face.
Yeah, you cannot breathe on me. I'm not leaving you out here, but
Yeah.
it's just so sad.
He's like, you sit in the front of the boat, I'll sit in the back. We won't touch, and they won't have any reason not to take me. Because that's Newton's big thing, is like, I don't want them to not take you because I'm infected.
So selfless.
And so they get into the boat, and they start going, and Newton has his sash on with all his little badges that he's earned. It's
to try
so
to
hard.
show that they're like good people and worthy of being
rescue. So sad. And they get to like where the military boats are, and the lights like shone on them, and Newton stands up and he's like, I'm fine, I'm all aces. The only thing is,
I'm so
very, very hungry. And as soon as he said that,
snipe,
in the water he goes. And Max like doesn't even have time to react, because then like the red dot is on him, and he's like, you know,
I'm clean, I'm safe, I'm healthy, I'm fine, freeze, no!
So we get the interview perspective of the man who ended up taking that shot, and he said that was one of the words that if that was said, it was like on site. Like, it's a trigger word for them. So it was really sad. And that really haunts him, the guy. Like, he's like, I never went to school for this and trained and did all this stuff to think that I would take the life of a little kid. Like, you don't think that haunts me? Because they're questioning him obviously about it.
It's like, what is he gonna do, defy orders and be dishonorably discharged and ruin his life?
So then we find that Max is in this facility where like he's in like paper gowns, and every time he changes his clothes they have to be burned. They test on him, they do all these things.
So it's like, is he really free and alive?
Yeah. So, he's clear, but they still have to, like, keep him in here. And they say that the person who came to, like, interview him says that he doesn't actually remember a lot of what happened on the island. But he remembers, like, a lot of what he does remember is, like, how he feels about his friends. So, less of the horrific stuff, more of, like, or I guess it's probably, like, what he'll talk about. Because we do see that he does actually remember. But like he talks about like Newt would have been the best dad, and you know, Ephraim was his best friend, and Tim was just, you know, he'd been there for him and taught him all these things, and like he didn't deserve that.
The poor guy sitting there like thinking about it. And
Kent, he like still finds it really hard that he's gone, because he was like Superman. The doctor, Dr. Riggs was the coolest adult. Like, he treated him like he was a grown-up, and he really respected that. Shelley there was just something wrong with him, and he's not so sad about Shelley, to be honest, and he knows that's a bad thing to say.
Yeah, I'll bet Shelly's not even sad that Shelly's gone. Shelly doesn't know what sad is.
And one thing that did really stick with him was there was this turtle, and he struggles with that a lot. When he starts talking about the turtle, he gets really worked up, then they ask the reporter to leave. Like,
they were like, you're done. He's too upset.
He's too upset, and it's really sad. We also get a little inbox message to Alex Markson, who is...
the false persona.
Yeah, Newton's false persona, and it's this girl being like, oh, I haven't heard from you. And it's this girl that he, like, has a crush on, but she's, like, out of his league or whatever. And she messages him, like, oh, I haven't seen you post anything in a while, like with all this crazy stuff happening in town, like, just wanted to reach out and see if you were okay. So sad. Good old Trudy Dennison. So we do find that Max is released from that facility once they find out that he is fine. He still, he's not allowed to go to school because nobody feels safe with him there. He doesn't really have any friends. He misses his friends, and that's really sad. The military still comes and tests on him, and, like, he's got to go through all these things, like, all the time to make sure that he's not contagious. So, like, even though he's lived, his life is ruined. Like, his life is never going to be the same. And one morning there was a poster tacked to his front door. It was a carnival poster saying, like, the amazing worm boy. It's very sad. People are mean. At one night, his mom made sweet and sour pork for dinner, and the smell was just so familiar of that, like, the smell of the people who got it, where, like, he freaked out and wouldn't stop screaming, and, like, they had to throw it out. It was, like, very, very sad. So he struggles a lot, and, like, anytime he goes to the doctors all, like, suit up and wear masks, and he says, like, sometimes he wants to rip it off and cough into the stupid sucker's fish face. The amazing worm boy strikes again. So Max ends up taking a boat and going to the island. When he gets to the island, it's, like, scorched. Like, everything is gone. And it says, like, a nameless hunger was building inside of him, and it gnawed at his guts and his teeth and called his name. And that's where the book ends.
Like, what the fuck? That ending is very what the fuck.
Do you think that he does have it? Like, what are your thoughts on that?
No, I don't think he does.
What do you think, like, he's saying the hunger is?
I'm not too sure. I have a real, like, stupid wild theory that, like...
Papa?
Like, maybe this thing can mutate so much that it knows how to talk to the host's mind to try to encourage you to come closer so that it can infect you.
Maybe, yeah.
Like, or, maybe there was, like, one egg in his brain and it got close enough that it could, like, echolocation talk the way whales talk. Like, maybe that's how the worms are talking to each other.
There was this, so I looked it up afterwards because I was like, I wonder, like, what the theories are. So I went on Reddit because, that's where we find all of our stuff. And one person said, like, maybe it's the PTSD of it. Like, he's hunger for, like, what he had, or maybe, like, that kind of thing, like the mental aspect of it. Another person talked about the fact that all throughout the book, which this is where I'm leaning, all throughout the book, they talk about how resilient it is. Yeah. And how they weren't sure how it was spreading, and that it could be airborne, it could be liquid, it could be this, could be that. So maybe when they lit that area on fire, it became airborne. Yeah. And so as he got closer to it, he contacted it. Oh my God. Contacted it? Contracted it. Thank you. And so now he does have it.
Oh my God.
I liked that theory because that makes sense. They say a lot of things that are toxic, like don't light them on fire. Yep. That causes a whole thing.
Yeah, the jasmine flowers.
That's immediately what I thought of. So I was leaning towards that.
Oh, that's so sad.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was good, though. It was gross.
Yeah, this was the nastiest thing I'd ever read.
That cave scene, I don't think will ever leave my mind.
No, I've had a hard time with a lot of specific foods.
Fair.
I don't know.
I'm glad I just finished it this morning.
Yeah.
Hi everyone, this is Connor, producer on When Girls Talk Books. During recording, we had some issues with our video capture, so we're going to have to cut the episode short. But come back next week to find out who Kylee and Susie chose for their fan cast.